This is the Wandering Mike.
Welcome, everyone, to the Wandering Mike. Today I'm here with Alexis. Hey, Alexis.
Hello.
How are you?
Hello. I'm good, Mike, and you?
I'm all right. Good day.
Good day at the hostel, yeah. Compared to the days before.
You could say that. Today is chill.
Yeah, it's a chill day, middle of the week, so.
So to get our little conversation going, if you just want to tell the people a bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, anything you want to share. And
Yeah, of course. So, I'm 24 from France, Middle Eastern France, in a little city called Le Miroir, which means a mirror in English.
Le Miroir.
Yeah, so
Right.
I look at myself in that city. So, just like in the camp and nothing to do a lot, but I grew up there for like 20 years. Was chilling, loving the life there. It was more myself when I was a child to be like not in the big city. Now I'm more a big city fan.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, even if I'm in Bundaberg right now, but that's not for the same reason. So no, I was in France until like the beginning of the year, so middle of January, and I decided to leave everything to go in Australia to kind of find myself again at some point, because I've always been in a cool and chill environment, like in my comfort zone. So always in that way, like I always grew up correctly, always developed myself. But I was like just more like just try to leave everything and see how you adapt to a new completely world. Like to see like you don't speak in your own language, you don't meet the same person. It's completely different. So just take your stuff and leave everything and try to go in Australia. Especially because it's the most easy country to go
Yeah.
with a visa. You just need to pay and go. That's cool. I was thinking about that or Canada, but I was like, no, let's go to Australia.
Well, you say logistically it's easy to go to Australia compared to other countries, but also, as you said, it is quite a big step to leave behind everything and go to a country that speaks a different language.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you, just for a context, was that the first time that you actually left France for a longer period?
Yeah. I just done in my life 2 weeks. So 2 times, 1 week in Spain. But it was with school. So never with my family,
Right.
never with my friends. It was just, I was like the first time 13, I guess, and the second time 15 or 16. And it was 1 week in Barcelona, 1 week in Mallorca.
Right.
So it was cool, but it was with school, and you still have, like, oh yeah, on Monday you do that, on Tuesday you do that, on Wednesday you do that. Because you've just followed what the teacher said and planned. And never got the time also to just have a proper discussion with local from here. Like, I mean, from there in Spain, but also like, that's also what I wanted to have, like, because I knew everybody in my own town and in France, like, it's easier to talk to people, but you already know the culture of the country.
Right.
You don't meet people that gonna teach you something new on the country. And I was like, I need to put myself in that kind of discomfort zone, because just traveling like 17,000 kilometers away from France. And and just like try to see the world, because of course, I'm 24. I have the privilege to be able to travel. It would be a shame to not do it. Like, I didn't have, of course, my mother and sister, but nobody was, like, I didn't have like born that much like a child or something that restrict me to go out of France. And I was like, that's now or maybe never.
That's a great point. That's because, like you said, not everyone has the conditions, not everyone has like the freedom to just go and do these things.
Yeah, that's what I said when I said I'm privileged on that. Like, I don't have like, also I just maybe sometimes someone that I need to take care of because of a disability or so. Yeah, I'm very, very lucky on that. And I was like, just man, you never travel when you have like that world is so beautiful from landscape, but also from people. And just go in the country, especially because Australia is known for like backpackers, but like from everywhere in the world. So you don't just go in the country to learn about that country, but you go in the country to learn about like 50 plus different nationalities that go there, and you learn from there. And yeah, I think was like the best decision I take.
That's a really great point as well, especially for these countries where people from Europe or also South
Yeah.
America, but a lot of people from Europe, they go to work and travel. It's you work, so you do like interact with local people, you do live
You
the
have
local
to.
lifestyle, but usually, and um, I actually don't know if that's the case for you, so I'm gonna ask you, but usually people also stay in hostels while they're here. So some people get their own flat as well, like in bigger cities that
Yeah.
happens. Um, so yeah, basically, what did you do? Did you get a place of yourself? Did you stay in hostels?
So I arrived in Sydney, like I said, in the middle of January,
Yeah.
and I stayed in a hostel for 5 months.
Right.
And after I moved in an apartment for 1 month and a half
Mm.
before coming here in Bundaberg to do my ATA days.
Right.
But I wasn't like, because like I said, I moved to get out of my comfort zone. And my
Yeah.
comfort zone was having an apartment.
Right.
So I didn't want to have that again. I was like, just, live that life in a hostel and see how it goes. And the first week, you're like, I don't have my privacy,
Hmm.
but you get used to it. And everybody is the same. So usually everybody is try to adapt as much as you to not having their privacy. And I think I did great on that. And yeah, but at some point, having your own apartment, I think it's important because you can just find back yourself and just your own privacy. But that won't be my main focus in Australia, I guess.
Yeah. I guess because it's definitely harder or very hard actually, talking from my own experience as well, to really stick to a routine, to get like your day planned out and really have all that time for yourself because you're basically always surrounded by other people. If you're on your laptop or if I'm on my laptop, researching something or editing the podcast, like there's always people that come up
Yeah,
and they
what you
will.
doing?
And also, I don't mind it. That's why I stay in hostels. Like I also like even when I go read my book, I wanna sit next to other people because I'm always there for a chat if they want
Yeah,
to.
same.
But you're completely right. Like if like your life is still pretty much dictated by the other people around. And if you have your own place, as you would like in every country you live, like if you lived in France, if you lived in Germany, if when I lived in Portugal, like
Yeah,
you have your own
you
place
have
and you
to.
go to work.
Yeah, because there's not that much hostel also.
Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah.
There's like, I never heard about hostel in that way before like living in Australia.
Yeah.
When I was in France, of course, I always heard the term hostel,
Right.
but never in the way like people stay there like for 3 4 months. It was always like, you just a traveler, you stay there for one night and just because you need to sleep somewhere, and that's
Yeah.
all. And Australia is very much like the main focus of
Long-term
every young people.
It's very, very true. Um, but I think that it is also an important part of the, especially like you said, the learning more about the world kind of thing,
Yes.
because you will definitely meet a lot of people from different cultures. And as you've said as well, um, usually people that stay in hostels, they are very open-minded.
They
They
are.
try to adapt. They try to communicate because we all know what it's like to solo travel. So we all kind of have the same experience. And someone comes up to us in the kitchen and goes, "Hey, where you from?" You're gonna interact with them. You're not gonna. I don't know how it is in France. I know how it is in Germany. Like if someone on the street goes, "Hey, how's your day?" You kind of go, "Why are you talking to me?"
Do I need to answer? Is it in French? Or... You know French people?
I mean,
No,
I
like
know you. I know how.
in France, usually, nah, yeah, you can say to someone, have a great day, they're gonna answer, but you usually don't have a proper conversation with the person.
Right.
In Australia, you can way more of that randomly in the street.
Yeah,
And so
that's
in the
true as
hostel,
well.
it's even more, yeah, because you know that if you're going in the hostel, you're gonna have to talk to some people. Of course, there's always that 5% of people who you know and you see them, they don't want that. Maybe they're too shy, or maybe
Right.
just they don't want to. Like when I arrived in that hostel, the first months, I just didn't want to socialize, but
Mm.
because I was too much used to socialize in my previous hostel. And I was like, let's take a break from it. Just even if, of course, I'm in a hostel, at some point, I'm gonna have to talk to people, but for the first months, let's take it chill. I'm gonna stay there for like 4 months minimum, so I will have time to
Yeah.
talk. And I start to talk. I think, yeah, one of the first person I really talked to was actually Simon that you had on one of your previous podcasts.
Right.
And because he gave me a haircut. So yeah, we talked for like 1 hour and a half. And after, like when you talk to someone, you say hello to that person, that there's someone who come in the conversation and blah blah blah. And that was kind of also the perfect moment for me to start again to socialize a bit with people. So yeah, but that's like at the end, it's so important, I think, to socialize. Like we need to always, not the word I always have in my life, but like balance. We always need to do things with balance.
Yeah.
And yeah, sometimes we need to socialize because as human beings, we are made for it. Like it's completely dumb to not socialize with people when
Yeah.
that's our main thing to do, to communicate. Like,
It's yeah, I definitely agree. I always think about, because I know a lot of my friends as well that just try not to socialize to get things done, like stay at home, do their work, and do it for a longer period of time. When we were studying as well, just trying to. But I honestly don't know if that makes it better, because I always feel like my brain works better if I socialize, because that it keeps it active.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we both read the same book right now, so I
Yeah,
can
we did.
discuss on that. In that book, so The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, which is a
Yeah.
book that Simon recommended to me.
Shout out Simon.
Yes, shout out Simon. At some point, they said something. They talk about the fact that, and that's the proof, we as human beings have like more than 6,000 thoughts during a day.
Right.
And so they say one more thing about it that's maybe fake, but like 90% of them are just the one that coming back from yesterday that you just put away.
Mm.
And one of the main reasons they say that is because if you're always stuck in the same thoughts, then you don't develop new one, you don't increase your mind, you don't develop it. And the very first way to like having new one is discuss with new people. Because just by the fact that talking to them, they're gonna bring you something new in your life. You're gonna think about that person or think about what they said to you and be like, oh, I should be interested on also what they just said, like their passion or something else. So that's gonna bring new thoughts to your mind
Yeah.
and then develop again even more, be even more open-minded. And yeah, the flows continue like that again, and again. So yeah, I think at the end, when you socialize, that's what brings you the most out of it, because like you said, your brain's still working, still always focusing on something. It's good too to be focused just on work. But if you don't balance it with socializing and just doing all other stuff, then you're just gonna lost yourself at some point. People always try to take, I mean, some of them, there's always both of side, but some of them try to always take life too much seriously, maybe.
Mm.
And if you don't add that little, like that little spicy fun and all that comes with it, then at the end of your life, what are you gonna remember of it? Nothing, practically. You're not gonna remember the people because you never talked to someone.
Yeah. That's actually very true. And I think balance is a great word. And
That's the word of my life.
I'm still trying to figure out that balance, because I had periods in my life where I was too serious. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I need to work out every day. Oh, I need to get this. I need to get that. And then people like, oh, you're just gonna come to the bar for like 30 minutes. I'm like, no, I need to. And then after those periods, like usually I burn out, and then it goes back to, oh yeah, I go out with you every day, and then because you have the friends that always go out. Like you
Yeah.
have those friend groups, like they're always at the beach, like in Portugal where I lived, like they're always at the beach, they're always at the bar. And then once you get too much unproductive, you're like, oh no, I just need a rest for a bit. And then you're immediately 1, 2, 3 months back in, like just doing the
Mm-hmm.
fun. Well, fun. I don't even know if I would see it as fun, but
No, but I see what you mean.
so that is what it's about, finding a healthy balance that is
Yeah.
sustainable, right?
Yeah, and like I said, when I talk about balance, balance is not supposed to mean like 50-50. Because even a balance with like 70-30 can be balanced because you're the one who choose it at the end. Like
Right.
the balance is in your hand. So if you want to put a hand higher than the other, then you still control it. So at the end, because sometimes people are like, yeah, I think, yeah, but if you're always in balance, then it's always the same flow, always the same line that doesn't go up or down. Yeah, it does, but I control it more, and
Yeah.
it helps me a lot. And I think that was also what I needed to find in Australia, because me, it was kind of the opposite as you. I wasn't too much focused in work. I was too much focused in laziness. Like when I was in France, always, try to, I'll do that tomorrow.
Right.
I'll do that tomorrow. And I still have a bit of me doing that in Australia, because of course, it's not something that you erased like that. We cannot just like set up a program and change it the day after.
Yeah.
But I think since I'm in Australia, I changed that a lot. And I'm very also happy about it, because yeah, I'm not in my comfort zone anymore. So when you need things to be done, you do them. You don't
Yeah.
have a choice, because otherwise you go back home. There's some points like that you need to, like, I need to do, for example, my 88 days, because otherwise I cannot extend my visa. I need to maybe like do like a ticket, a ride card or something like that, because otherwise I cannot work. So that's also something that being in another country makes you understand that you need to make things done.
Um, so a thing that also has been a theme in my life, and that especially with that laziness, that you didn't really feel like something had to be done. Maybe the word purpose is too big for a concept, because we're just talking about like Australia in general.
Yeah.
But for me, do you feel like all these things, like you said, having to get a white card, having to do all these things to stay on top of it, do you feel like at least it's like a short term or middle term purpose that kind of motivates you more to say, okay, it just has to be done, rather than, oh, should I go to the grocery store? Oh, I can go tomorrow. But like, there's no purpose behind it. But now, do you feel like this adventure here gives you more of a purpose?
Yeah, I feel so, because like when you, like I said, in your comfort zone, sometimes you don't see the purpose of life. And I feel we all have one big purpose, but also like plenty of them to fulfill after at the end, that big purpose. But for me, when I was like, yeah, when I came in Australia to also, like I said, find myself, though that's a big purpose.
Right.
But the all of the little purpose was also fight against that laziness, but not in the way like fight it in like that demon you want to get out of it. Just like control it. Like,
Right.
be lazy, like with balance. I can be lazy when I want to, but sometimes I need things to be done.
Right.
And so, yeah, we can call that like a purpose, like to have like not maybe daily purpose, but maybe more like week or monthly purpose. Just in the way of, oh yeah, this month I need that to be done. I need that to be done. And sometimes it's not big things. It's not like getting a job, getting an apartment, getting things. No, it's just like following the flow and see how it goes. And I feel like, yeah, for the rest of my life, that's the start of it. Because after Australia, if I want to do plans there and there, then I already know how to do so, because I already done it in a foreign country. Because my purpose now is not to go back in France after. It will be like to see the family, but not to
Right.
live in France. So I'll be able to travel, because I think that's also the main purpose at the end, but travel with mixing all the walking stuff and the socializing stuff at the same time. When usually when I was in France, it was more like I'd either just socialize or walk, not both of them.
Right.
You see? And now I feel more like I'm way more able to do so, especially because of course, we are in a hostel. So when you finish your day of work, you socialize because you're
Yeah.
coming back from work with people in your car that are in the hostel. You're gonna see them after in the night, and you're gonna see everybody else. And so yeah, I think I now put way more like purpose in my life than before. I used to not put them, or when I was putting them, I was like, for next year,
Yeah.
just because of the laziness. And now like I put them and do them on time.
Yeah. For me, it just added that sense of um responsibility in a
Yeah.
sense. It's like once you have, and whatever that means to every single person, but you have like an overall purpose, and you just start to take life more serious in a sense.
Yes.
Like we just talked about
No, yeah,
seriousness
but
and balance, but
there's serious and serious.
yeah, you get what I
In
mean,
the
right?
context.
You,
In the
yeah,
context, you take it more seriously, but to get things done, that's not the same thing that seriously in the way of focus, 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 focus. It's also doing the things the way they should be done, but on time, and not even before that it's supposed to be on time. Like some people, when I was talking about taking life too seriously, it's like you have like 3 months to do something, but
right,
on the first week you're gonna finish it.
right.
Focus on that, and even sometimes like be too much focus
And
on it, and when you can
ignore
just
everything
take your
else.
time, but not take your time in the way of laziness, just take your time in the way of I can do like 2 or 3 hours every day of that. And that's sometimes for just like they have a purpose for 3 months later, they finish it in 1 week, but then after they have another one, and that just like that every single week. They always focus, 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 focus. Just do things with balance.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, in that sense as well, because you talked about getting out of your comfort zone, and now you said you already feel like ready to travel anywhere. I don't
Yeah,
know if you have concrete plans of places you want to go.
I have some, but like I said, the only problem is always
The-
everything always change. And we had that
Yes.
discussion like just like 1 hour
We know.
ago
Yeah, we
when
know.
I was saying that I'm not type of guy plan things. I'm type of guy who do something and just see how it goes. If something go wrong, then because I didn't plan anything, I cannot be mad.
Yeah,
If something goes wrong, I'm just saying, yeah, that's normal. I didn't plan it, so of course it's gonna go wrong. But that's fine. I'm just gonna deal with it, and we'll see. At the end, it's never gonna be like a big deal. Some people
exactly.
stress too much. I'm the one who don't stress at all, and I saw that's also a problem. Like I said, it's always supposed to be with balance, but on that, I'm very bad at it. I never stress about anything. So when something happens, I'm just like, that's fine. We found a solution.
Feel like, I mean, obviously, people could probably find examples where you should worry a bit, but in general, I actually have the same belief because at the end, you can never control anything but your actions.
Exactly.
So whatever happens, I mean, obviously, objectively, it can be a big deal, but you should never react in a way like, oh, it's a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
I also think it's always better to just say, yeah, it's not a big deal. So what about, like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And just go on with life. So this just happened. So now what?
No, yeah, exactly. But if I have to still say, like, do I have some plans? I would say go to Canada after
Right.
Australia. But the big plan is like stay like 2 to 3 years in Australia before moving.
Yeah.
Still want to do like for like 5, 6 months in Asia between that, but it won't be to stay in a country and just like to
Just
traveling.
see it.
Like maybe 1 month there, 1 month there, 1 month there. I don't know the country yet, but you see what I mean. And after going to Canada, and after before I'm 30, because that's the limit, going to Japan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
That,
what I would like to do. I don't know if it's gonna happen that way or not, but if the plans go perfectly, it will be like that. I know for sure it won't, because I'm always gonna plan something else between that, or you always maybe find someone and you decide to, not like as a partner, but just like as a friend also, you decide to do something else. Like, oh, you go in that country, and after you fall in
right.
love with the other country and you decide to stay there too. There's always plenty of things that can happen in life. So yeah, I try always to still have the fact that I want to go to Canada is still like making me wanted to work more in Australia, just
Mm,
to have like enough money to go like in Asia and after go in Canada and have also that money, because when you arrive in the country, it's usually the time when you lost the most money because you don't know what you're doing in the
yeah.
country. So you need to time to like be focused in finding a place. Even the hostel, still need to find the hostel and after find the surroundings and what's happening in the area. So you're gonna spend a bit money this and there. So I would say that I just put myself in the purpose of I want to go there. So I make the money for it. But even if I don't go, then I will still have the money to do something else.
And then yeah. So you're still
Just
prepared to
yeah,
whatever
just try
happens.
to prepare a bit myself for whatever comes. But there's no main plan. Like I'm sure about it. It's just like an idea. We can call that an idea.
Yeah. And Canada and Japan both sound like really interesting places.
Yes.
Like I've been to Canada like briefly, like I've been to the States a lot, like
Yep.
with my parents, and also I've lived in the States for a year. Um, so I've seen a lot of the parts of the United States, and I've only seen like Vancouver and was it Toronto? I think it was Toronto.
Yeah. So the big
And
one. Like,
yeah, and not really much of the nature up in Canada as well, but it's supposed to be a really beautiful country. And Japan just gotten on my radar, like since I've been here in New Zealand, here in Australia, and everyone tells me, "Oh, I just came back from Japan. That's
same.
beautiful." It's like the way the country works, the way the people are. I've just heard only good things, So I kind of want to check Japan out at some point as well.
No, and it's also about like I said, when you go in another country and then you talk with people from there.
Yeah,
And when I will plan my road trip to Asia in general, not just Japan, because yeah, in these 6 months there will for sure be 1 month in Japan.
right.
Like I want to go there before
And
living there for like 1 year, just
that
to see
makes
how the
sense
country
as
goes.
well. Yeah,
But what I want to do is like making maybe like 50% of each of my time in the country. So like if I spend 1 month in one of the country, maybe 2 weeks will be like sleeping in people's houses. Like in like
oh yeah,
just because I feel like, and like you can help them in exchange of free accommodation, for example.
right.
But still it's not gonna take too much of my traveling time, like just 2 or 3 hours maximum a day. So that's nothing. And you can still like at the end when you're eating with them, asking them a lot of questions about the culture, because I think at the end that's what also it's all about. If you're traveling in the country, just to traveling and like say in your life, oh yeah, I've been there.
Yeah,
That's cool. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna like blame people who do that. But that's not how I see my life. I see my life when I can be able to talk about the culture of each country, not from my French vision of it, but from the vision of the people who are there, like talking with them and they teach me how they live in that country. And so I want also to do that in Japan. And after, of course, if I do like a working holiday in Japan, it will be even more like that. I'll be very, very focused on matching with people and connecting with them and their culture. Because if you're just traveling, but to not be part of the country, I think it's a bit like weird. I don't have the word. I won't say weird, but
yeah,
just like not the good thing to do, because at the end, as a human, we want to connect with people, but also to connect with their culture. That's what you want to do. And I feel like we can all be like sharing that culture that we all know. And if I'm coming back on the thoughts that we have, like generating these new thoughts and idea of the mind and expand it all the way to like be able to just like like talking with and be able to be like, oh yeah, I've been in that country and that's part of their culture, that this kind of thing, like not just said, oh yeah, I saw that monument, oh I saw that monument, oh I saw that monument. Yeah, but did you talk to the people? Not at all.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that you don't want to blame the people that do it. I'm happily blaming everyone who
No.
does that because I I talked with Axel about that as well. Like
Yeah.
I think Axel was the first podcast I recorded here,
Mm-hmm.
and he's a tour guide back in Peru.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot about how travel and tourism changed over the years as well, and now um, for again some people it is just about taking that one picture for Instagram and
Yeah,
all
exactly.
that,
Putting on Instagram and
and it's like that. And yeah, I mean you're right, everyone should do what they like, but for me that just isn't traveling at all, because you're in a different country because you want to get to know the country.
exactly.
And I also know what you mean with the thoughts, because even if obviously not every day when I go and socialize with people, like I'm not gonna have in my mind, oh yeah, I've been to Indonesia or I've been to the United States, but subconsciously everywhere you've been will definitely
Yeah,
change how you interact with
for
people,
sure.
because
100%.
you learn about more cultures. Like you
Yeah.
said, you get these different thought patterns, just because you see, oh, people act differently. Oh, in their culture, they do things like that. Oh, maybe that's a good thing to like keep in mind.
Yeah, and maybe do also, like, because there's always like, right people at the right time, but there's also maybe sometimes some people feel like that they are born just not in the right country, when I think it's not the
Definitely feel
case.
that's me.
But I just need to like deal with it in that way. But you can always maybe find more yourself in another country, and just by trying to traveling to take a picture and coming back home, you're never gonna find yourself, I think, because my way of seeing life and people is that we are all one at some point.
Yes.
So of course we are divided in bodies, and I'm from France, you're from Germany, some other people are from Australia, and blah blah blah. But at the end, we're still all coming from the same exact place. So sharing and taking part of the culture of each country you go, if you can go there, of course, like I said, like at the beginning, that's a
Right.
privilege too. But when you are able to, then you just coming back from who you are at the beginning of everything. You're just coming back of who you are. You're just taking back again, like the culture that you always have in yourself, but you didn't develop it. So I think it's important too, because maybe you're just gonna feel way, way more yourself in another country. And some people are just gonna feel like that just because I said, oh yeah, I see some landscape, I see some animal, and I feel more myself here than everywhere else in the world. That's fine. But I feel that you can just, I for myself, will be only able to say that because I merge with the culture of the country and not just with the beauty of it. If that makes sense.
No, it definitely does. Yeah, it just I'm just thinking about, obviously a lot of people can enjoy just seeing different landscapes and can already like refresh the brain as well,
Yeah.
because
No,
you're
yeah, for sure.
interacting with new like stuff like that. But at the end, it's also because we are in Australia and English isn't your native language, it isn't mine, but it also is still way more Western than, for example, if we went to Thailand, for
Yeah.
example. Um, and so, because here in Australia, I would say, I don't feel as much the need to dive into the culture, if you know what I mean, because it's not too different to our European culture.
Yeah, because the English came here and changed, let's say, everything. But that's why also in
Yeah.
Australia, for sure, at some point, even if I know it might be sometimes dangerous because you don't know where you're going, but I would like to like live, in that Aboriginal culture. Try to
Right.
like be with them and talk with them and see their culture because
Yeah,
that's
that's true.
like in Australia they don't try to preserve it too much, unfortunately. And I think if we don't try to like learn their culture now, we might not be able ever again at some point because
With
Australia don't try to preserve it at all. Even
That's
sometimes
true.
that you just destroy things to build some good buildings. Well, that's cool. No, that's not. Like we don't care about having the European culture in Australia. We want to have the Australian culture, and the Australian culture is the English who came here, but the
It
Aboriginal.
is the Aboriginal culture.
So yeah, but I get what you mean. Why you don't want to dive into it because that doesn't seem like something new at all.
Yeah, it doesn't really go there and um yeah, brings you new thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
But it I mean, we are here in Australia. I'm very thankful that
Oh
I
no,
get
yeah,
to be
yeah,
here in Australia. But I just want to say it's crazy to see, because coming from New Zealand, like the way they do it over there is so different. I mean, obviously, it's still not ideal because every time a culture gets oppressed and basically um, captured and
yeah,
conquered, like it's never ideal. But the way New Zealand handles the Maori, and especially on the North Island, like almost everything is in English and Maori. Like they're really trying to preserve the language there as well. Like you have the street signs in Maori, you have like these settlements that are still under full Maori control. They get like state taxes and all that stuff on their land as well. Um, just seeing that they put in way more effort to preserve
yeah,
the culture over there than they do here, to be honest.
yeah, and that's just the only part. Like, just preserve the culture. I don't say that we need like to put it in front of everything, and because as human, the same way with the language, like the language, we change our language like so many times, but that's also part of the culture. So of course the culture gonna change, but if you just bring the same culture everywhere, then there's no culture anymore. That's just like the same one. So we just need to
Yeah,
like merge, because like I said, at the end we are all the same. So of course the culture at some point might be the same, might have some common point, but you're not supposed to just erase one to put yours. And in Australia, unfortunately, in a lot of countries too, France did that in a lot of other countries too. So
mm,
I'm not gonna try to blame like what they done in Australia. I know what my country do too.
yeah,
But yeah, I think we should preserve that, and that's so much important because when you're traveling, then you can see yourself in another country and talking with these people who know the country, and they can teach you so much more, especially about everything. Like I don't know anything about the snakes, the spiders, for example, here,
right.
and some of them can be very, very helpful for us. You don't need to kill them. You know, like there's a lot of things that you need to know, and talking with the people that coming from here, they're the one who know the most because they are lived with them for like 1,000 years.
Yeah, that's true. And they because all the backpackers would just tell you, "Oh, a snake."
Yeah, yeah. Of course, be careful. Don't try to like annoy the snakes. But some
Yeah,
of them are not a problem. I'm sure about it. I just don't know it yet
and
because I
it's
don't know anything about it. But
no, that's true. Um, so another thing that I always find interesting, um, especially when I have people that just started traveling more or
yeah,
less, because like for me, I started really young and I always wanted to get abroad by
uh-huh.
myself. So for me, it kind of became the normal thing to do. That's why I always had a hard time staying in a place for a longer time.
Yeah,
Always had to move on and go somewhere else. Um, and like you said, it was your goal to go out of your comfort zone. So
exactly.
do you, having now been here half a year, pretty much, but a bit
Oh,
longer
but
even,
longer.
like
It's been 9 months
January?
now.
9 months.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
time goes so fast. It's crazy.
it does though.
Like I'm supposed to end my first visa in 4 months, 3 months and a half, 4 months, and I'm like,
Yeah, and that's 1
yeah,
year over already.
what already? So yeah, sorry, what you were
That's
saying?
crazy. No, so yeah, you already been here 9 months now.
Oh wow,
So
yeah.
do you um what were like the biggest learning experiences that you had? Because I mean, I don't know. You say, or I mean, I know you as well, so you're not gonna be like super freaking out about stuff anyway, because you just
No,
take things as they go. But at the end, you were out of your comfort zone. So coming here, and being out of your country, like, what are the things that you were confronted with? What did you learn? What were the biggest
I would
takeaways?
say like, and I think it's coming with people that I met. But like the connection with your own body is so important. And I used to connect with it, of course, because I was taking care of myself.
Yeah.
But you know, like if we talk about like the superiority more in that way,
Yeah.
I never done that before. I wasn't judging people who were doing it. I was just like, oh, it's not my thing, maybe.
Mm.
And coming here in Australia when everybody's open-minded a lot,
Yeah.
and you talk with backpackers, and because a lot of them are open-minded and always dealing with stressful thing, because when you're a backpacker, there's always stress everywhere.
Yes.
Because there's always like, oh, I don't know when I'm gonna sleep tomorrow. I'm gonna that, I don't know that, and maybe if I stop walking there, how am I gonna do? Do I need to sleep on the street? Do I need, like there's so many different like questions and stress are coming that a lot of people start to do meditation, yoga, just spiritual
Right.
stuff to like take back that control. And
Mm.
I never needed it because I don't stress usually at all. Um, and I think that's my biggest learning. Just like it's not because I don't stress that cannot do it, because there's also like a way more things that I can control in my life. Like for example, I used to always think positive for every other people,
Mm.
and when it was coming from for me, it was more like, let's say I wasn't thinking like negatively, but a bit more like I might go wrong. When for people, I'm
Right.
always optimist. I'm always
Right.
like, no, for sure it's gonna be good. For sure it's gonna be good. And for me, I'm like, always just the it might go wrong. Just and
I know
I think the
exactly
biggest
what you
learning
mean.
is trying to remove that negativity and just embrace the positivity. Because if you embrace it, everything gonna nothing. I cannot say that everything gonna be good, but you're always gonna take it more positively. And especially about myself, because one of the biggest thing I always said is like, and I said that earlier, we have all a big purpose in life. And I feel mine is to make other people happy. But making other people happy is not just being a clown and make them laugh. And
Right.
at the end, when you come back home, you are the one who's sad. It's not that. It's like, I thought maybe a bit of that when I was in France. And now what I learned is like, I'm making other people happy by being happy myself first. Like, it's not, I used to take that purpose in the way of making other people happy, gonna make me happy. And now it's like making me happy, gonna make other people happy. I just reverse it. And I think that's, if I'm honest, the first very big thing I learned in Australia is to, if you are happy, then there's no way you cannot make other people around you happy, especially when you feel that's your purpose. Because I really think it's mine, like to always find a solution to when someone is sad, not make the person laugh just to make the person laugh,
Mm.
but find a solution to their problem. And because at the end, if there's a solution, there's no problem.
Exactly.
But I try to be more that person, yeah, who because I feel about myself and I deal about my problem, then I can help other people with their own problem too and make them happy. Just somehow, like just for a few seconds or for a few hours, days, depends. But yeah, I would say, yeah, just focus on myself and make myself happy is the main thing I learned in Australia.
That's a that's a great thing.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure.
I wish I knew that at 24.
But don't get me wrong, I'm not, I know that that's my main purpose, but there's always improvement to do. So
Of
yes,
course.
I know that's what I need, want to be, and that's what I always, like I said, 80-90% of the time, but there's always that little, I said, dark times when I don't make myself happy and just make other people happy, but even if I'm not. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So like I said, always need to improve.
But I know exactly what you're talking about. Like when I was younger as well, it's like it's so easy to give other people advice.
Yeah.
And then you go out
Don't apply for yourself.
and then you always like, oh, maybe I could have been more this, maybe I could have been more
Yeah.
that. And what I also I think the same thing that you learned, I learned somewhere along the way as well. And
Yeah.
I always said it as because the word selfish, especially nowadays, has like such a bad like
Connotation. Yeah.
connotation. But that's why I always say being selfish is the most selfless thing you can do.
Exactly.
Because if you concentrate on you living your best life, that will radiate out into the world.
And it resonates with what I said earlier when I said we are all the same. If one part of us is happy, then the other one is too. Like if someone on earth is happy, then a part of you somewhere in your heart or in your mind is happy too. So
Definitely.
if we're all thinking that way, being selfish, like we said, is totally selfless. Like, but it's just, of course, it's so much not logic. That's true. Like saying, when you are not seeing and feeling things that way, that's not logic at all. Like if you talk to the me like, from 10 years and saying that, I said, yeah, stop the bullshit.
Right.
Like that's so fake, so wrong. It's not like that. And now I understand it. Like you need to think about yourself. And that was always what I said to every people, like think about yourself before thinking about everybody else first. But I wasn't doing that for myself. I was thinking about other people before thinking about myself. No, it's always like do what I said, not what I do. And that was I was doing. And now like even like for example the book that we talked about earlier, in this kind of book I used to read like science fiction book. And now that I'm reading this kind of book when they taught you and making you learn how to like use your mind, then I can feel already a lot of improvement just about reading one book. So I cannot imagine when I'm gonna read 10, 20, 100 of them, like how it helps me to focus more and on myself and making me more happier to make other people happy too, to fulfill my purpose.
And as I told you as well, like the book that we read or that you're reading, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, like it's a good book in that sense. Like now that I've finished it as well, like it's a good book in that sense that it is a really good introduction to all these topics. Like it really covers a broad spectrum of everything that's important in self-development.
Before just going into the big one that's...
so it's really a good book for that. Just because I have been reading books like that, I kind of felt like there wasn't too much new information. But that being said, it's always nice to like read it and get it back into your mind as well, because you know a lot of things, like technically, but then you live your life and you don't really have them active in your brain.
Exactly.
And that
you
keeps it like
them and
and now rereading that and like all these things. And I just, for one, I don't want to spoil the book because I don't know if you've gotten to that point yet, but it fits perfectly with what we're discussing. So I feel like another great point in the book is, and that's exactly what you were saying basically, is you are creating your own reality by how you think. So that's why if you are thinking positive, if everything, and that's all that we've been talking about actually, like things happen, you don't make a big deal of them, but you go, oh, so now what? And you can totally create your reality by just having control of your thoughts, managing your thoughts, and making them more positive.
Yeah, because that's what they say in the book. Like if you like think about something, like it's always two things, like the thing you think about it and the thing will happen. But if you don't think about it, it's never gonna happen. That's what they said in the book.
Exactly.
So that's true. But that also like just something a part of it. Like it makes me feel something about like I think it wakes me to say that. It's like there's two things very important in life: running and reading. And I think that's very true because I'm running too. So I start to run like again when I was in Sydney.
Right.
And because I was like, that's such the vibe of the city. And I started again like 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago maybe in Bundaberg here.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel that both of them, like when you go for a run, or just for sort of like a big walk, but for a run maybe more
Right.
than that, like you always have that little voice in your head who said, Stop. Your legs are hurting. You cannot breathe correctly.
Yeah, when
Stop."
I run, that voice isn't small.
Yeah, but at the beginning she's small, and at some point she's become very, very big.
Yeah.
But running teach you that if you don't listen to that voice that bring you negativity, then you
Right.
can go very, very far in life. You can go
Right.
very more far than what you thought about it before. Like if you like try to run like 5 kilometers, of course, if that's part of your plan, you need to stop at 5 kilometers. But if you just go for a run and just to see where you can go, you can sometimes go to 10 to 15 kilometers, even though at 5 your voice was like stop.
Right.
And for the reading part, it's like there's no book that nobody write about like a new problem. Like there's no problem that nobody already solved. Because there's like
Yeah.
billions and billions and billions of people who already lived it and for sure speak and wrote about it. So I love also that what bring the book to your life, to your life, sorry. Like just the fact that when you read, you get that knowledge that sometimes you can have also by communicating, sorry, with people. But reading bring you that solution, not easier. They usually teach you the basic, and at the end said like, now find by
Maybe.
yourself. And that's why I like, because when you're gonna
Right.
speak to someone, the more wise of them gonna just do the same as the book. So give you the basic, and let you learn by yourself. But some other people are gonna try to like give you the proper answer to what you need, and not let you fulfill and find out by yourself. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about reading, and especially that book, because like we said, that's an introduction, and they give you just all the basic, and just after like use them and do by yourself after. You'll see after that you're gonna be great, even greater than before, and becoming more happier, becoming more open-minded, everything, but just by yourself, not just about what the books teach you. Just like you follow the basic, and after you create by yourself, because it's important also to create by yourself and not eat. Sorry for that. Not just follow what someone teach you to do.
Yeah. And I also feel like, I mean, obviously, reading about these things is super helpful and everything you say is true. But for me, also, I read a lot of these things and I was kind of like, yeah, it makes sense. But that is the most important part, is to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And you need to just, and that's a thing I've always asked myself, like, can we at some point force a point where our mind just switches? Because for me, I know exactly when I was like 27, I had something just happen in my brain, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, I took, like we said before, took everything more serious, started taking responsibility, and then really acting up all these things that I kind of knew at 27 because I started reading like early. I always was reading, but then I started implementing these things. So, um, basically, the question I'm asking myself is just like, everyone maybe just has their own speed, and then that we can't really force these kind of
No, we
things.
cannot. Yeah.
Sometimes when you're ready, and then it just all
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
into place.
And that's also I think about Australia. I feel way more ready now than before. Like I that's what I feel about Australia. I feel way more ready than before. Like when I was in France, I was maybe more not just about the comfort zone, but also stuck about that sometimes negative thoughts that are too late to do that, maybe too early, or
Right.
all this like thing that stuck
Yeah.
you and lets you like push you back and not push you forward to what you're supposed to do. And since I'm in Australia and since I met that different people that like you can understand that we are not all the same age. Like I met people from like 19 to 35.
Yeah.
Usually at work it's more, but like that I
Right.
had the chance to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that we are all at some of them are at some point in their life that are already reached when I was like maybe 15. But some of the things I want to do, they already also reached them earlier than me. And that's just like, yeah, everything we go in the right time. Like the society always want us to like try to look at the other person and said, oh, you done it before me or blah, 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 to always try to compare ourselves and making us like ashamed of not doing that at the right time.
Yeah.
There is no right time. There is no like, 25, you're supposed to have like your own house, 2 child, a dog and a
Exactly.
cat. And no, there's none of that. Like just do everything that you feel you should do as long as it feel and flow with who you are and your purpose. Like as long as it's not also disrespectful for the people, of course. But yeah, just like feel the flow and not what the big guy on top of the chain wants you to do. Because that's the main problem now, I think.
Yeah. I totally agree. I also feel like everyone has to have their own thing because as we talked about before, everyone has to figure it out for themselves. And when I was younger as well, I always thought also in a more negative way, um, because I was traveling. I was like, why doesn't everyone else just travel? Why are people happy
Yeah.
with having a house? But now I also see that for some people, having a house, a dog, and a cat is the life. And I'm super happy for everyone that is happy with that.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is that in overall society, one thing is more valued than the other. So
Definitely.
it's like, why are or why is society trying to push one option of life more than all the other options that you can have in life?
And at the end, and I feel that maybe because of that, that's like I see way more than what I'm maybe supposed to. But like I said, we are supposed to be one. And actually, some of
Yeah,
us don't want us to be one and want
I
us to be
agree.
like completely divided. And the way they divide us is by trying to push us to do just one thing that will never bring us together again. Because I feel that you understand that everybody is everyone else when even more when you're traveling, I would say. Because that's
Yeah,
also when I feel even more that in Australia. And I think that I will feel that everywhere I go. And
definitely.
the society want us to like stay at home, have a walk, save some money for when, because you can die everywhere and every when and like at every age. So like saving
Yeah,
money for what? You don't know. And yeah, have your home, your wife or husband, child, have your chill life and do like the government said and everything. And I think that's completely, yeah, uh, they want to avoid us to feel and see what we are really, which is like oneness and not like divided. And I think, unfortunately, they're doing a great job.
they
Unfortunately.
do. They do. I'm happy you said that because I totally agree. Um, totally agree. And that is how we all just get closer to each other is
Yeah.
we and that's also what has been lost in these more we call them more developed countries like France and Germany. But at the end, because we're so focused on that one part of life, we don't really. And again, I'm generalizing. It's not
No, yeah,
everywhere, but it is statistically like you're not really like having a conversation with your neighbor anymore. You're not like hanging out. You're more like, oh, that car that is in front of his house, why does he have like the big car, like
yeah,
the
yeah.
more expensive
Oh, I
car?
thought he was doing like amazing job, that giving him not too much money, if you put
And just
not to be jealous.
just talking about other
Yeah, to
people
gossip and
instead of talking with them.
and
like,
talking with them and be happy for them. First of all, just be happy for the other one. Like we're not
exactly.
supposed to compare ourselves and be then jealous or angry or no. Just be happy about what everybody else do, as long as they doing good, as always. But like, yeah, don't try to compare yourself and don't try to because that person, or maybe sometimes it's you always compare yourself to like your parents or best friend or some people your own age, and you're always like, oh, that person did that. And after you visualizing what the society wants, and that's exactly what that person done. Right? And you're like, oh, but I done the completely opposite. I don't have an house, I don't have a wife, I don't have anything. But if I feel good living like that, why should I change it? There's no reason that I should want to change it. Just keep doing it like that. And if one day I want to like, yeah, settle down and have my things, then of course, but it's not because someone tell me that before 25 I needed to have that I will. No, it doesn't work
Exactly.
like that. It works the way you want it to work it. And if we all feel and do things like that, I think that in some point we'll be so much happier than what the world is now.
And that's a great way, I think, to come to a close here because I really enjoyed the conversation. We talked about a lot of interesting stuff. And with these important things that you say, you definitely should have the last word here.
You,
So, yeah, I really enjoyed our conversation.
same.
It was really cool. A lot of interesting things. Hope a lot of things that made people think as well.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing
Yeah, and
to
get
get
new
your
thoughts.
thoughts.
We're coming back from
Exactly.
what you said.
Exactly. So, thank you so much, Alexi. Thank you for sitting down, taking the
Thank you
time.
for asking me to do the podcast also. I really enjoyed it.
Cool. Well, enjoy the rest of your day as well.
Yeah.
And
Thank you, and
goodbye, everyone.
goodbye, everyone.